Hello everyone, this is General Ragequit, and today we're looking at the Brewmaster monk release state and how does it work in Arena. So, the last time I made a video about monks was just after, or no, just before they pushed the patch to the live servers. So I was wondering, like, in the meantime, did they change something about like stats of monks, so like that they nerfed them a little bit, like secretly nerfed them a little bit, because they never tell anything about the stat template that they use for monk. So I want to see like how does monk play at release, because it's like almost a month away, the expansion. So I was thinking, let's go have a look at monk again. Same with that night. Let's have a look at monk again, perhaps the last look, and see how it performs, because it was in my opinion one of the better tanks. So that said, what I feel like, before I'm gonna show you the gameplay, there's one or two clips apparently missing because it didn't record. Whatever, we still have like 6, like the 2s that were missing were just like noob stomps anyway, they last like 2 seconds, so it doesn't matter. So, you still have the same problem as before, like you need a good DPS. It's like required is a good DPS who can survive, at least. Because if you don't have that, then it's just like, well, so there we lost the arena. So, yeah, that's still a problem. Your strength's obviously still against melee, just full physical damage. That's like, oh, you're doing only physical damage. And there's no problem. So, yeah, that said, they did change monk, or it does feel like they changed monk. I will talk about that in the gameplay, because I really feel different. I'm not gonna say weak or strong yet, we'll find out, but I feel different. So, without further ado, let's go into the gameplay and see how it went. So here we're off into the first arena, and I was like, let's go for the druid, because that's gonna be the best choice, because the monk's just gonna touch of karma and then shit, but my DK decided to go on the monk and kill himself, so that sucked a little bit. But yeah, I was just testing out, like, so I felt like after this fight I really felt like they nerfed the damage, and they probably did in the templates that you do less damage. Because I do a lot less damage, and I have a lot less pressure than I had the last time I played. So I feel like they did change something, because I didn't show it like in patch notes, like, hey, we changed this skill. But I think they nerfed Brewmaster a bit in damage, because the self healing is still there, the survivability is still there. It's just the damage feels a bit gone, just simply put. But yeah, sadly, this is just gonna end up in nothing. But as I said like previously, with this applies to all tanks. You need a good DPS with you. If you have a good DPS with you, then you can play a tank, no problem. I think you can play any tank. But if you need to carry a little bit, then like, yeah, it's just, you need someone who can survive and not die like an idiot, like some of the people do that I play with. So as you can see, the mages just keep me infinite CC, so I can't like run after the demon hunter, and I'm like, this is just trying out, see what I can do. But we all know that I've lost, and it's like you need a good DPS, and if you have a bad DPS, then it's kind of impossible to do anything. It's like you need someone who can survive focus a little bit, because otherwise it's just pointless to play tank. And this warlock was just confusing me, but like the amount of like damage it refused to take. It's like there's two people hammering away your Sherman tank, but how can you heal? Like how can you not die? And like how do you fully heal here? It's like someone who's a warlock can probably explain what happened there, but I'm like, what the fuck? But eventually, we're gonna take this guy down, or I'm gonna take this guy down. And here I'm trying to heal, but I'm like, where the fuck did I put my heal? Oh, and I was like, oh wait, there. So that's like what you get when you play multiple classes, like instead of just one all the time, then you sometimes forget where you put your healing abilities and stuff like that. But yeah, I was really confused. Like I don't know if anyone here in the comments knows what that warlock did there, but that healing was kinda sick. So here there's just the monk left, and we all know what monks do when you get them to this point. They run away, and I was like, yeah, well, you know what? Go F yourself. And so what people do to you, that they focus your DPS, you can do that too. Normally, it's like focus the weaker DPS. So him just chasing down the demon hunter, like murder him so that he's out of the way, and now we can just clean up the hunter. And like this hunter, like confirmed that one video that I did before about Beastmaster hunters. It's like Beastmaster hunters do fuck tons of damage. It's like even when this Beastmaster hunter can't shoot himself, it doesn't matter because the passage is gonna murder my monk. But eventually we're gonna get him down. It's like it's just a race for me. It's like who kills who first? Like does he kill my monk first or do I kill him first? It doesn't really matter because even if he kills the monk, I will still eventually kill him. But it was fun to just run after him and like see, can I kill him before my monk dies? And here we go into the last one. So I play with a druid and I'm just gonna go for the demon hunter. And there's actually a clip missing here because I fought against this demon hunter and this rogue before. And I won as well, but that one apparently didn't save. Interesting. So there's one video clip missing, but that's basically me just fighting these same two people and with the same result. Apart from that, the demon hunter lasted a lot shorter because my the person I played with focused the monk really good, so the demon hunter really good, so he nuked him down really quickly. So I'm like, well, let's just give it a go. Let's see the powers. Like because generally tanks have no problems with melee. Since there's 2 melee, I'll see like let's see if I can 1 versus 2 them. So I am focusing the demon hunter first here because I know that the demon hunter's cooldowns are gonna run out soon. And as you can see here, the self healing of the monk is still very much intact. It's like just those chi orbs are just insane. And here I can see that I'm being that I got the Ivory Order, so I stopped abilities, and it's a good thing that the rogue stunned me so I didn't accidentally cast something. So I'm just gonna change. And this is the good thing now. It's like this is the difference between tanks and the monk. It's like you have still have the mobility. So that demon hunter has a lot of mobility and ran away, but I just ran after him and just chased him down, no problem because of my rolls. And there they fuck up the disorient on me. It's like when you had that fight with the mage and the demon hunter, where the demon hunter could just run away. It's like this demon hunter doesn't really have the opportunity to run away. Well, he had, but then he broke the disorient himself. And you can see just the superior monk mobility just keeps me on him all the time, and that's what other tanks like. For example, when you watch my Dead Knight video, I was just constantly running after people and I couldn't get to them, but now with the monk I can get to them, and this is just going to be a slugfest until the end. But eventually I'm going to win because melee just has nothing to say against tanks. And I think if you see a super salty person about tanks and PvP, then it's generally a melee main, because melee mains generally get tongue goofed by tanks 1 versus 1. So yeah, that's the end of the gameplay. You can finish watching this, and let's go to the conclusion about how the monk plays with the in the release state. So that was the gameplay, and as you could see, monk was changed, in my opinion, and it felt changed. I felt weaker. I felt like I did a lot, not a lot less, but I did like less damage, say like 10 to 5% less damage. And I guess the people who like that salty person who recently responded to my Blood Dead Knight video. For the people who hate tanks, good news, tanks are being like pushed further and further down apparently. And for the people who love tanks, it's sad news obviously, because your tank is not gonna be as good as before. It's like you still have the mobility to catch up with people, so that's a good thing. That's why what makes Monk one of the better tanks, if not the best tank, because you can, as you can see in that like me chasing after the demon hunter, I could just chase after the demon hunter without problem. Whereas for example at Dead Knight would just be stuck there like, yeah, you're running. And with a monk you can just chase after them and like paralyze them to keep them in place and then get close to them and then etc, etc. So yeah, monk still feels doable. It's not like a hopeless case, but yeah, it feels a lot weaker. You need a really good DPS, good coordination, but that's obviously what you always need. But your DPS really needs to survive more now, because before your DPS could get away with not being that good at surviving, but now they need to survive a lot better. It's like, in my opinion, it's like, you have people who really don't want to have tanks in PvP, battlegrounds, rated battlegrounds. But I feel like, why should you deny a portion of the community their gameplay? And I mean, if we're totally honest, tanks are not gonna reach like a 2.5, 2.7k rating. Well, obviously some people will manage to do it. So it's like, sorry if you can do it. But most people, like your average arena player, whatever, won't make it that high with a tank anyway. So why not let tanks have their like fun shit? But apparently people really hate tanks in PvP. It's like, personally I love playing tank, but that's more because I've like most of the time played tank in PvE, so that's why. But yeah, sadly it seems like they're pushing the tanks down further and further and further, which was at the start understandable because they were just too overpowered. Like they just destroyed everything. It's just like, why would you play a DPS when you have tanks? Essentially kind of story. But I feel like now they're like overdoing it to the point where they're being trivialized and you don't want to play a tank anymore. And that's a bit sad. It's like, you have healers, you have DPS, but apparently tanks are not allowed to play in arena, and that's a bit sad. It's like, well, depends on how you look at it. It's a bit unfun that you can't play, for example, like a Blood Dead Knight, because I see that Blood Dead Knight always gets a shitload of views. And it's just sad that you can't play something like that, which apparently people love to play in arena. And yeah, for those people who hate so much on tanks, why do you deny other people their fun? It's like, seriously, just let people play what they want to play. It's like at super high ratings where you apparently all are anyway. It's like you will get only DPS anyway, or like a healer DPS. So what's the point of like denying other people their fun? Well, before I go on like a 50-minute rant, that's yeah, that was the video. So it feels like they downscaled Monk a little bit more. You still still feels doable, but it just feels a lot harder than like before, like even harder, because it went from like super easy, kill everyone, to like not so easy, but you can still kill most people, to like now where it's like it's hard to kill people, but you can still do it. So yeah, that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will talk to you guys the next time.